Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, the Extra Zero Festival, first day. I'm pretty much halfway after a little over an hour of playtesting. I started off with Monarchs first. I think this is pretty much the first event where Konami allowed the full Monarch package, being legal. Otherwise it was always Domain being banned, Stormfort being banned, I think, from these events. So this is currently the list that I'm rocking here in the event. I made some small changes to the list that I posted up a couple of days ago in like the top 5 deck video, should be linked here somewhere. The changes I made was, first of all, I added in Maxi. I was like, okay, FLOOWANDEREEZE, I thought this would be like a super floodgate festival, but apparently everyone and their mother is playing Kaijus, the adventure token packages, in like everyone slaps that in almost every deck, so that's pretty much a +1 if you have Maxi. And always going second, having Maxi there is always nice, unless you're playing against FLOOWANDEREEZE or Floodgate top deck. But other than that, my matchups, I think I pretty much won everything bar breaking. That's the thing with this deck. As you know, Monarchs are having, as you saw, having a high chance of breaking, as in drawing all tributes or drawing all, smaller monsters, Idea, Eidos, Mithra, stuff like that. But it is what it is. The thing is though, a lot of decks are weakened, so that's why I think, this deck is, I think, one of the strongest decks for this festival, because you're playing so many high attack monsters, high impactful monsters, right? Obviously this is against FLOOWANDEREEZE. The deck has a lot of good matchups. FLOOWANDEREEZE is an okay matchup. You have Majesty's Fiend, which should lock up the duel. I had another tribute summon, by the way, here during my opening turn, but I was like, well, what are the chances that my opponent is playing FLOOWANDEREEZE? You obviously want to have Majesty's Fiend on the field for that. But I was like, nah, just wait. I mean, I've been playing a lot of Kaiju decks, a lot of Eldritch as well. And, I just want to have my Idea effect for next turn. And I was like, okay, Majesty's Fiend could be useful again next turn. So I still have Stormfort Ether play during my opponent's turn to interrupt their plays. And here I think the strongest boss, I guess, or the most dangerous cards that he can drop here to threaten my board is either Ryza or Avian. Avian to negate the Ether in hand, or Ryza to start spinning my stuff away. Even though, the Ryza is tribute summoned, so I can, Stormfort has been activated, so I can still tribute away his Ryza, for example, if it would be there. But now, very easy getting rid of both Idea and, his M-Pen. And here my plan was to probably go for, attack. I'm not going to, spoil it just yet. You will see it, I think, in the next video, the next duel. He starts to, he probably, he had it, or at least he activated Desires earlier, so I think he banished his, not Monarch, he banished his FLOOWANDEREEZE trap. But even then, I can act first during my main phase, so my first play is to drop Majesty's Fiend to the field. Anyway, so next duel again, going first. This is, okay, still a good opening hand. Mega Testalos, as you know, is like a confiscation effect. Take a look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. Again, getting information about what they are playing. Another Kaiju deck, they always open Slumber, always. It's fine though, Maxi for at least a 1 draw, so we can expect, it's just good stuff dot deck. Nowadays, you play Danger, Kaiju, adventure package all in one deck, and it's still good, right? So try to go for Maxi for the beneficial draw, but Maxi never resolves. Here I still have a Stormfort Ether play that goes through, so that's always nice. Setting up a Pantheism for next turn, plus bouncing Erebus during the end phase. So again, I'm set up for next turn. So we know that Maxi is useless, again because of Call by the Grave. It will be useful during the next turn. Use Pantheism to again making sure that I have a Monarch spell and trap card in my graveyard. I still go for Return because again, Return searches the potential Ether during my, or at least now, but I can use Ether during my opponent's turn to basically interrupt them again. We don't need to fear Maxi, because again, Maxi was called by the grave earlier. Erebus is able to banish or, you know, send back a card from my opponent's grave back to the deck, so, you know, potentially sending back the Kaiju Slumber, but I have Mexi, so I'm not threatened by Kaiju. That's something I like. A lot of people are, you know, still resorting to Kaijus, either Kaiju Luna or whatever, and go second with evenly matched Lightning Storm. But Monarchs, here in this case, a slower format, the Kaiju whatever, doesn't really matter too much. Other than, you know, you might be playing a boss monster deck where if your opponent Kaiju's away your boss monster, you might not have any, you know, interruptions left. So here again, like these decks, tons of decks I've been playing against. Adventure, Package, Kaiju, you know, the good stuff, right? So Mexi coming in clutch again, giving me some extra draws, and here, this is cool, I dropped Kuras from the main deck. It's not really a new tech for Monarchs, I'm playing the card in real life as well, switching it up with Kuras, but you know, searching Majesty's Fiend just in case for next turn. But again, during my opponent's turn, use Ether and drop Sailor Glare. Sailor Glare has the same stats as a Monarch, level 6, 2400 attack, 1000 defense, could be important for tenacity. But Sailor Glare states that during your opponent's turn, for example, you can bounce it back to your hand and then take control of one of your opponent's monsters with equal attack or less, you know, equal to Sailor Glare's attack. So that's 2400 or less. So here in this case, obviously, you want to keep the token for maybe another Griffin, who knows. I mean, you could, I guess, chain the Griffin, but again, Mexi is there, so you know what I mean. Just not give them the opportunity to potentially Draco back you. So Sailor Glare definitely comes in clutch against a lot of matchups, right, over Kuras. So last duel, again, going first, going second, you can definitely go second. Harpy's Feather Duster is there, something I added in. Eldlish, as I've mentioned before, super popular. Definitely a good matchup, unless they open multiple floodgates. Also skill drain, obviously, if you don't have Duster. But I'm also playing the Flowandereeze continuous spell, you know, the one that lets you use opponent's cards. So that includes monsters, obviously, and spells and traps for tribute summon. So that's why, you know, the continuous spell of Flowandereeze is there to, just in case if your opponent has like a powerful skill, you know, Floodgate or whatever, you can just tribute that Floodgate away with that Flowandereeze spell and trap if you go for the Stalos, Erebus or Ether. Any tribute monster that needs 2 tributes. This, I guess, is also cool, like Kaiju, Adventure, and like a small portion of Gradle as well. I guess it's fine, but it's a bit slow, and that's, you know, for the Gradle part. Here I was like, well, the only card that can kinda punish me for making an early Ether play was Slumber, right? Slumber was there, but again, it's fine. You have return set for multiple searches. I have Prime Monarch plus Pantheism in grave. This should be my duel. Again, Mexi, you want Mexi, even though the worst card, well, of course it's terrible against Flowandereeze, but even still, there are so many decks that, you know, still special summon. The Kaijus are so popular. Gizmek stuff. I mean, I think I still want 3 Mexi here in the main deck, especially going second. So Gigachad Erebus bouncing back the continuous spell, and as you know, Domain, you know, gives you the 800 extra attack when your tribute summoned monster attacks, and it also helped out previously against the Griffin. So again, I was running really low on spells and traps, Monarch spells and traps. So use the Prime Monarch here to, you know, send them back to the grave, or at least from the grave back to the deck, to at least and draw one. Just basically keep my Monarch engine alive. You can be a bit gimmicky here, you know, rearranging or chaining your Prime Monarch in grave and only send back 1 Monarch spell and trap. But again, I was really low, so that's why I didn't want to do that. But I think this list is for this festival is okay. You can definitely go second as well with those Mexis. With Stormfort, obviously, it's a go second card. You have the Flowandereeze continuous spell to take use of your opponent's cards. I still like 1-for-1. The Harpy's Feather Duster is there for a potential blowout, where your opponent is not respecting it and, you know, still setting 3 to 4 cards, which again is super popular in this festival. So I think the biggest weakness of this deck, the biggest counter against this deck is bricking. If you're able to play, you should win it, because the Monarchs are just so strong boss monsters, and you can just grind your opponent through that. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like. If you enjoyed the video, Leakum signing out. Peace.